This is the Yaber K3 projector, capable of 1600 NZ lumens, Google TV built in with 7,000 plus apps, and a 30-watt JBL Dolby audio system that actually sounds pretty good. This thing has 1080p capability with 4K support, also has auto keystone correction, autofocus, manual keystone correction, manual focus, and a lot of other things. You have the ability to change brightness, color, sharpness, get the image you're looking for with a whole bunch of modes like warm, cool, hot. And the remote's pretty good too. All your normal functions, and it's also a Google Assistant, so you can speak right into it to get to your next destination. Going through setup and getting the projector ready is relatively easy. The only confusing thing that I found almost immediately was how to actually put this thing into position. Underneath it, there is a small foot dial where you can change the angle of this projector. You can tilt it up or leave it flat, but there isn't any kind of way to mount it. There's no mounting screw holes, there's no VESA mount holes, there's nothing. So I'm not too sure how Yaber expects you to use this projector. I guess it's meant to sit on a stand by chance, but I don't see any kind of wall mounting options or bracket mounting or even tripod mounting. So I think that's a big miss for them. The projector stays pretty minimalistic. On the top, of course, is the brand name. Down below is the NFC touchpad. You have a music mode button, a nighttime button, volume up and down, and then the power button. Just on the back side are two HDMI ports as well as a USB that does give power. So if you want to plug a Fire Stick straight to this projector like I'm doing, you can. There are headphone outputs here as well as a LAN port. It looks like Yaber thought this out and put two different IF readers on both sides of the projector so that depending on if you're in front of it or behind it, your remote will still work. So this is the home screen of the Yaber K3 where you can select your HDMI inputs, go to Google TV, screen share, use it as a Bluetooth controller. And then on the settings button here, you have a slew of options to kind of dial this in. Now, one thing I want to note is that I could not get Wi-Fi to work here. I'm not sure why, but my Wi-Fi is at the top, KPay Sky. If I click on it, it tells me that it does not work. I'm not sure why. So I could not get Wi-Fi to work to utilize the Google TV, but I do have a Fire Stick plugged up to it, which is an HDMI 1. So I will click that on the remote there. And here is the HDMI 1 input. So this is Amazon Fire TV Stick that's plugged up to it. You guys can get a good idea of picture quality. And honestly, it's not bad. I will say it is on the dimmer side. The room isn't completely dark. It is definitely visible. But I would like to see more brightness out of this, especially if you're going to be this far away, which I'm about. The projector is about 8 feet away from the screen in a 10.5 foot room in length. So I would like to see a little more brightness, but it's not bad whatsoever. So out of the box, the projector doesn't look too bad. I did have to do some tweaking with it. I didn't like how it looked out of the box. It looked a little bit too grainy for me. Sharpness was too high. Colors were too bright. So I had to lower some things down to get it to a relatively good image for what 1080p can give you in a time and age that we're in. The screen was a little bit dark too, so I did end up raising the contrast up and boosting the brightness just a little bit too, just to make it legible. So you may have to tweak this to get the best performance out of it. Again, it's 1080p, so you can only get so much out of it, but it does give you a pretty solid image once you get everything fine-tuned. What I found most impressive was the speakers on here. The JBL 30-watt speakers on this projector are actually pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this up so you guys can hear.
Come on, Mom, we're gonna be late. I can't find my eyes.
It's indescribably beautiful.
There's a lot of good things to say about this projector. I do like the size of it. It's not too big. It does look premium. It's made of full plastic, but it does feel like it'll last you for a while, a lot of uses. So that is definitely pretty impressive. As far as the brightness goes, I think it gets to its claims. This 1600 lumens is not too far off. I wish it was a little bit brighter for this price point. It can get hard to see if it's too bright in the room, but right now the sun's coming through my window to the right and I can see the image just fine. So a dimly lit room or a dark room will do just fine here. The speakers are really good. They get really loud. These are probably the best projector speakers I've heard in a projector. I will give that to it. Even larger ultra short throw projectors don't have as good as speakers as these do. So kudos to Yaber for going out and getting partnerships with JBL for a good audio system. It worked out well. Things that I don't like about this projector is the overall brightness, and I wish it got brighter. Picture quality out of the box is not that great, so you will have to tweak it. And even when you do, you still kind of have some things left to be desired. So image quality is not the greatest, even for 1080p, but it'll definitely make a lot of people happy, not necessarily for critical watching, but you know, movie night, family night will be perfect. I'm not sure what the idea is behind not having any kind of mounting screws. Maybe they are and I'm missing them, maybe under some panels or something, but I don't see a way to mount this projector on, say, a VESA mount if you want to hang it from the ceiling, or even if you want to put it on a tripod. There is not a way to do that, or at least it's not obvious. So that is a huge miss. Right now it's sitting on my chair, which is obviously not ideal. So you may have some issues using this projector because there's not a way to put it on anything if you don't have a table at the correct height and the correct distance. So you're forced to use keystone correction, manual correction, and that's not something you want to do because you do cut into your image quality. So I wish that they had ways to mount this so that you had endless opportunities to place this wherever you'd like to. For $600, I would like to see some sort of HDR formats in here, HDR10, HDR10 Plus. I'm not looking for Dolby Vision or anything crazy like that, but HDR is like a standard now on everything. So I wish that there were HDR modes in here so that you could utilize a little bit better contrast, because it does not get very bright, which is an issue, but dark scenes still are gray. It doesn't really get dark either, so image quality doesn't really pop at you the way that you would hope to. Image quality looks good, but it's not very vivid. So HDR performance would look really good, but I guess the projector just doesn't get bright enough for that. So that's, again, a brightness complaint, if I have to say so. I think this projector is a very solid one. I don't think if you buy this that you wasted your money. However, I will say, make sure you do your research and see what else is out there. There are some projectors that do 4K for $600. You could even go to the used market and get a used 4K projector for close to this price too. So although the Yaber K3 is a very good projector out of the box, it seems easy to use, it's family friendly, I do think that the price tag and what it offers you may be a little bit of a lot for some people in comparison to other manufacturers out there. So just make sure you do your research, see what else is out there, make sure this is the one for you. If you buy it, I think you'll like it just fine. Just make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into in terms of placement and what it can and cannot do. With that being said, thank you to Yaber for sending this out to me for review. If you guys want to take a look more about it, there will be a link down below in the description box for you guys to check out. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already, and we will see you guys in the next video. KPS Guy out. Peace.